Today we're starting off with a sponsored dedication from Alice Peterson. I'm going to read the dedication. As the years advance in a marriage, the meaning of love changes with us. What once conjured images of hearts and flowers is transformed into the opportunity to serve one another. Today, I want to express my appreciation for my husband Alan's steadfast love in a changing world. What a Wonderful World was played years ago at our wedding. It's a song that reminds us both to celebrate the miracle of nature and the simple joys that still present in our world. I carry your heart, I carry it in my heart. E. E. Cummings. Happy Valentine's Day, Alan.
That was lovely, and it's lovely to be back. I think I know all of you. My name's Madeline, and let's stand and sing Let It Be a Dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Let a dancing song be heard. Play the music, say the words, and fill the sky with sailing birds. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead. Let the rhythm fill the need. To reap the harvest, plant the seed. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Everybody turn and spin. Let your body learn to bend. And like a willow in the wind, let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. A child is born, the old must die. A time for joy, a time to cry. Take a bit that passes by. Let it be a dance.
Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Spokane. I'm Lisa Conger, your lay leader. We're glad to have you with us. UUCS is a welcoming congregation, and we appreciate your unique backgrounds, beliefs, or lifestyle. If you're one of our longtime members or have been here a short time, or if this is your very first time, we're delighted to have you. Welcome to everyone here and to all of those who may be streaming us. It is our mission to join together to create a nourishing, liberal religious home and to champion justice, diversity, and environmental stewardship in the wider world. Or in short, to create community, find meaning, and work for justice. I just have a few announcements. First, a reminder that there's a Valentine's dance next Saturday on the 14th at 7 o'clock here in this beautiful hall. And if you have any questions, talk to Nancy Avery. And next Sunday is the return of our monthly potluck. And today at 12:30 in the chapel, the Poetry Sharing Circle will meet. Before we turn to greet one another, I would like to particularly welcome two guests, Madeline McNeil, our former music director. Yeah. And our guest speaker, a member of our church community, Jacob Johns. And I will introduce him more formally before his presentation. Please take a few minutes now to greet one another and make sure to say hello to someone you don't know. You'll have a chance to finish your conversations or start new ones following our service during the coffee hour. We now turn from our informal greeting of one another to formally begin our service by lighting our chalice, the symbol of Unitarian Universalism, the symbol of our unity and solidarity, of our openness and inclusion, of our community and individual uniqueness. May this small flame be our offering of warmth to those who are cold and alone, and a light to those in darkness. May it be a flame that ignites justice in our world and a beacon of hope to those in need. And may it reflect at least a spark of truth wherever truth has been lost, and cast a healthy shadow of doubt where it has been found. Our opening reflection is a poem by Joy Harjo. She was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and is a member of the Muskogee Creek Nation. Harjo draws on her First Nation storytelling and histories, as well as feminist and social justice poetic traditions, and frequently incorporates indigenous myths, symbols, and values into her writing. And this is her poem, Praise the Rain. Praise the rain, the seagull dive, the curl of plant, the raven talk. Praise the hurt, the house slack, the stand of trees, the dignity. Praise the dark, the moon cradle, the sky fall, the bear sleep. Praise the mist, the warrior name, the earth eclipse, the fired leap. Praise the backwards upward sky, the baby cry, the spirit food. Praise canoe, the fish rush, the hole for frog, the upside down. Praise the day, the cloud cup, the mind flat, forget it all. Praise crazy, praise sad, praise the path on which we're led. Praise the roads on earth and water. Praise the eater and the eaten. Praise beginnings, praise the end. Praise the song and praise the singer. Praise the rain, it brings more rain. Praise the rain, it brings more rain.
Please stand, join us for number 134, Our World is One World. Our world is one world. What touches one affects us all. The seas that wash us round about, the clouds that cover us, the rains that fall. Our world is one world. The thoughts we think affect us all. The way we build our attitudes with love or hate we make, a bridge or wall. Our world is one world. Its ways of wealth affect us all. The way we spend, the way we share, who are the rich or poor, who stand or fall. Our world is one world, just like a ship that bears us all, where fear and greed make many holes, but where our hearts can hear a different call.
Each time we gather as a congregation, there are always those who are with us in our hearts and minds and who we want to wrap in our love and care. We kindle light this morning, as we have been, for all those suffering from the wars and violence anywhere in the world or everywhere in the world, particularly Ukraine, the Middle East, Palestine, Gaza, for those suffering in Somalia, and for those here in the United States confronting the violent aggression of ICE agents, both immigrants and others, and for our beloved earth, our home. Let us share a moment in silence, embracing others who are here in our hearts this morning. You are welcome to say their names aloud as you are willing.
The people of Minneapolis.
Those named aloud and those remembered in the silence, and all those who are suffering elsewhere in our world this hour, we hold in our community of compassion. We now gratefully give and receive this morning's offering, which sustains this community and its mission to the larger world.
I love it so much when you guys do that. Let's give them another round of applause. It's just so beautiful. But first we'll start with the words. So repeat after me. Reach down for grassroots power.
Reach down for grassroots power.
Reach up for inspiration.
Reach up for inspiration.
Stomp out injustice. You guys got it. And move in the winds of change. And now we'll do it all together with those very intuitive hand motions and gestures. It's like you could read my mind. All right. Reach down for grassroots power. Reach down for grassroots power. You can just say it with me. Reach up for inspiration. Stomp out injustice. And move in the winds of change. Thank you all for embracing your inner child this morning for our time for all ages. Thank you.
Let us shift our attention now to a time of meditation. I invite you to find a relaxed, receptive posture, to close your eyes if you wish, and to take a few deeper breaths as I lead us into the silence with this poem of mine entitled, A Loving Hold. The fresh snow coats all surfaces, transforming sharp angles into a softened, impressionistic view. The blank field becomes a canvas for bird and small animal footprints. Shrews and other small beings forage under the white blanket, searching for seeds and fallen berries. Tall golden grasses peek above the snow blanket, their feathery plumes dancing a bit in the breeze. The late afternoon sunlight touches all with an ambered glow. It can be a lonely time, yet all this beauty embraces me in a loving hold that includes me in the great belonging.
Yellowstone, oh, the buffalo free, oh, my brother the wolf, my lover the moon, oh, the little one, oh, the joy that I feel, oh, the love in my heart, a wilderness song. The sea, oh, the ocean shore, oh, the castles of stone, oh, the mountaintop calling to me. Sister, my own, oh, the tenderness, oh, the longing for love, oh, the beautiful way, the sweet coming home.
Thank you so much. That was so lovely. It is my great pleasure and privilege to formally introduce our guest speaker, Jacob Johns. He is an international environmental systems strategist and a multidisciplinary artist working to address global environmental issues through policy, culture, and community-based solutions. For the last 4 years, Jacob has spearheaded a Wisdom Keepers delegation, a coalition of indigenous knowledge holders and ancestral wisdom practitioners working to transform international climate policy while cultivating ethical leadership among global stakeholders. Jacob is a member of the Akimal Odom Hopi tribe. He will tell us more in his presentation. Please welcome Jacob to our pulpit.
Thank you. Good morning, and thanks for that introduction. I also just want to say how refreshing it is to hear Madeline once again behind the microphone. So can we just give her a round of applause? I always feel nervous coming home and talking to the congregation, especially the first service, even though there's only a handful of us here, which is weird. And then whenever I hear Madeline sing, it's like, oh, I put you in this calm space. So thank you for that. I actually wanted to be succinct, so I wrote down some things that I wanted to make sure that I'm talking about this instead of rambling at 9 o'clock in the morning. So back in 2016, I was volunteering a lot for different political action campaigns throughout Washington State for a lot of social justice, environmental issues. And I ended up getting hired by a political action committee that was working on a campaign here in Washington State. And during that time, Standing Rock was happening. And during Standing Rock, I had a week off, and we were doing really well in the campaign, especially for here in Eastern Washington. And they gave us a week off of paid vacation. And it was during this time, in 2016, that Standing Rock was taking place. And so while other people were going to Tahoe and to Maui, I went to North Dakota. And while I was in North Dakota, it was over Memorial Day weekend when we were there, and they had stopped the construction on the pipeline. And so people went down there, all these bunch of groups came from Arizona. I'm from Arizona originally, and I heard the music, so I went over there to go with them to hold ceremony at the construction site. And while that was happening, we looked down the road, and they were doing construction. And there was a judicial stopping of the work, right? It was basically not allowing the pipeline to continue construction because there was historical things in the path of this proposed pipeline. And so they stopped construction on it. And that day, we saw them illegally constructing. And what happened, women and children were killed by the American government as the American encroached on their land. And where those women and children fell, they buried them. And it just so happened that those graves were in the path of the pipeline. And here we were watching corporations bulldoze those graves in order to put in a pipeline underneath the Missouri River. And it was at that moment in time that we ended up taking a direct action. We ended up stopping them, chasing them off, chasing them away, blocking it. And 27 graves were destroyed that day. And during that moment, they let the dogs loose on us. And it was the first time violence had been recorded there at Standing Rocks, and it took off. And they had, I'd been interviewed on the front lines by Democracy Now! It took off, and it went 13 million hits in a week or whatever. And I came back and I felt so compelled to do all this stuff. First off, getting maced and all that is one thing. But I came back and everybody had watched this video. And so I did like a crowdfunding sort of situation where we raised like $5,000 in a week. And then we bought a bunch of supplies and we drove back to Standing Rock to distribute the supplies to the front line and try to figure out a way to link the local connection. And so I was trying to think of all these people in my life, all these people I know. Who's first off, who has a license, right? And who has insurance? And third, who has a car, right? So all these things started to work out. And thankfully, I reached out to my friend Jeff, who's actually here. Jeff, can you raise your hand? Jeff Ferguson, Professor Ferguson, now at Eastern Washington Native American Studies, he reached out and came with me. And so we went back to Standing Rock, distributed the supplies. And at that moment in time, I went to work with the tribe and said, hey, listen, we need to get this energy here back home in Spokane. And I worked with the tribe to ask them to write a letter to draft to the city council. We went and proposed it to the city council. City council drafted a letter. It turned into this whole thing, right? Wonderful, beautiful thing. But the pipeline and the resistance continued. And so after the 2016 election and Trump became elected the first time, it felt detrimental to what we know as society, right? The societal values that we hold are being thrown to the wind by the first presidency of this fascist. And I felt compelled to stop working for political action committees and doing service to society full time. So I switched over the next day and went down to the Backbone campaign to sign up for a program called the Community Supported Organizing Program. So it basically made me like a fiscally sponsored nonprofit group that was able to do intersectional organizing with the fiscal sponsorship of a larger 501c3. And for 10 years, I did that. Right, I made like, I don't know, $300 a month, $400, I mean, nothing, like just scraps, right? It's actually scraps. I don't even know how I survived, only because the will of the universe was on my side, for real. And, during these times I was going around, I started doing more regional stuff, local stuff, regional stuff, then national stuff, then international stuff, which brought me into the Conference of the Parties. So the Conference of the Parties is the negotiating table for the signatories on the climate accords underneath the United Nations treaties. So anybody who signed on to the Paris Accord or the Kyoto Accord or any of these things that have passed on, those countries come together once a year to negotiate the terms of those negotiations. And the negotiating platform is called the Conference of the Parties. And so this is a space that civil society is able to interact with global leaders in a way to advance their civil society needs in these governmental structure spaces, which is called the UNFCCC, right? The United Nations Framework for the Convention on Climate Change. And so this is the Conference of the Parties where I was able to get access to. And while I got in there, I was just one person, right? I'm a community-supported organizer. I'm here with Greenpeace, I'm here with 350, I'm here with all these large national, international orgs, and it's just me. And, there's only so much that one person can do. And after I came back from the second COP, the second Conference of the Parties, it's a lot of work to get into these spaces and to even be associated with all of the things and the plethora of nonsense that comes through the bureaucracy underneath the United Nations. Being able to comprehend that is one feat, but using one voice is a completely separate thing. And so I came back from the second Conference of the Parties from Glasgow, and I was severely sleep deprived, right? Like I was so jet lagged, I could not sleep, right? It's like 3 o'clock in the morning in Glasgow, and here I am sitting in my living room in my underwear drinking a cup of coffee, right? It's this whole thing. And so I have a process of whenever I'm stuck up and I cannot sleep that I would meditate. And so I force myself up, even it's 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, I'll sit on the floor and I'll meditate and just quietly quiet my mind and listen to what the universe has to offer. Kind of what we do here. And by being able to listen to the universe, I was instructed to do all these things. And I had this weird download, this weird flash that I was supposed to travel around the planet to different places around the planet, to intersectional places, and meet a group of people to pray for humanity at these key places in order to create this new web of consciousness that needs to happen, right? And I come back, and here I am in my living room in my underwear drinking a cup of coffee at 3 a.m., whatever. I was like, okay, this is pretty intense. 4 hours later, I got an email from a man who I met in Glasgow by the name of Pudvin Moodley, who was the executive director of a collective called the Earthrise Collective. And he asked me to join a group of people to travel the world to pray for humanity at sacred sites. And so after this, I joined him. I drove down to Mount Shasta for 13 hours to meet with these people because there's no way I was going to jump on a plane and go to wherever to meet with a bunch of strangers that I got downloaded while meditating on the floor. So I drove down to see if these people were aliens or how I was getting this information, whatever. I met with them, and I had a really profound experience at the base of Mount Shasta with these group of people who were traveling. And they just came from Egypt, they went to Mount Shasta, and then they were flying to Maui to do this basically networking of these intersectional points that were supposed to broadcast and amplify consciousness at these intersectional points around the planet. So we traveled all the way around the world. We traveled to, I took 27 flights in 48 days. And we traveled to China, we went to the North Pole, Greenland, we went to Tibet, we went to Mount Kailash, we went to Australia, we went to New Zealand, we went to Copenhagen, we went all over the place just to pray for humanity. And when we came back, I had this flash as a community supporter that maybe after praying with all these amazing people around the planet, that maybe we could do something besides just pray. That we could pull together our traditions and really respond to the negotiating tracks of these climate accords by infusing traditional ancient wisdom into the moral perspectives that we were offering to world leaders. And this became like a big thing as I reached out to all these people who I knew were amazing, and I formed a group called A Wisdom Keepers Delegation. And I asked those folks, will you come with me to Dubai as we can co-create responses to the negotiating tracks that encompass all of our traditions from a global perspective as indigenous people, and respond in the ways that is required as we engage at the United Nations? And they said yes. Real quick, small feat, right? That seems like a big thing. And Dubai, by the way, is the most expensive city in the world. And here I am, a community-supported organizer, making like $300 a month, of scraps of things, and we were going to bring these groups of people to Dubai, the most expensive city in the world. And I went down to New Mexico to try to get insights with some folks that were writing some grants to the U.S. Climate Action Network. And while we were there, I was asked to join basically an action, a prayer gathering that was going to hold us together to stop a statue of a conquistador that did horrible things to the first people of that land. And in the morning after the all-night vigil, the prayers were heard, and a right-wing fascist came with a gun. And then he shot me in the chest, and I died. And after being shot and dying, it was really a horrible thing. I literally died. And I've shared this numerous times in public spaces, but I met a council of spirits who instructed me that in order to come back into my body, that I had to do certain things in order to fulfill new life contracts that would free me from the cycles of reincarnation that is forced upon us as we enter into birth. And so I said, all right, and came out, and 2 weeks later, after I was in the hospital and I had tubes out of my abdomen, tubes out of my liver, going into a collection sack in a fanny pack on my body, I went to Dubai. Jumped on a plane with no painkillers because we had made these obligations to do these things. And to be honest, it was the most painful experience I've ever had to deal with. I had 3 drains in my body, I had 2 in my late liver, 1 in my pancreas, and they kept getting caught on stuff. And I wasn't on any pain medication because we were in Dubai. And so it was very, 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 very exhausting. But we made it, and we did it. And it was only through the miracle after miracle that the universe shined its light upon us to give us this grant of how we were able to get all of our folks to Dubai. We continued to do our work, and we did it while I was severely injured in doing all these horrible things. So 3 years go by, and we went to not only to Dubai, but then we went to Azerbaijan. And now just recently we came back from Belem, Brazil, from COP30. And one of the biggest things that happens at the Conference of the Parties is that yes, there's the official United Nations negotiations that are taking place where all the world leaders, the so-called world leaders, come together. But there's also the space where civil society comes to join together. This is referenced as the People's COP. And this is a space where people like us in America who aren't represented by their governments have a platform to go and advocate to the atrocities that are happening in their territories while they are being misrepresented by government officials in these official spaces. And so it was important for us to support the People's COP and to support the civil society to come up and advocate for what's taking place, not only in Brazil, but globally, especially as indigenous people are often at the front line of extractive, exploitive industries that are just meant to destroy ecosystems and perpetuate capitalism. And this was a great way for us to come in and not only just to advocate, through the United Nations, but to be with the people, to stand in the streets with our sisters and our brothers, to support them both spiritually, financially, and physically. Todd, can I ask you to ramp up that video? So I put together a little video here to highlight what we've just came back from in Belem, Brazil.
Delegation. I had a COP, but we know as indigenous people that when we enter into other people's territory, we must come in a good way. And so we have brought our relatives from Maui to lead us on a ceremonial canoe paddle up the river here so that we can greet our relatives, the Huriquin, who we've helped to come up from the heart of the Amazon. We are standing in solidarity with our sisters and our brothers who are defending the planet, defending the lungs of the earth. And we know that we will only have each other if we want to move forward into a new consciousness. That we must find others who are of the same frequency and of the same vibration, who can come together in ceremonial ways and broadcast new energy that is meant to be received by those who will help us elevate and evolve as humanity. And we know that we must come into this territory and ask for permission from the original caretakers of this land. And so this morning, as we wake up before sunrise, we're going to be jumping into these canoes, these Hawaiian va'as, and we are going to paddle up this river, which is the cousin of the Amazon, and ask for permission from our relatives, the Huniquen, who will gather on the shores and welcome us into this territory. We must do this before we enter into this much important work at the UN COP, as we work together to advance contemporary climate policy that highlights all of indigenous people's needs globally, including our own domestic perspectives. The only way for us to move forward together is to stand in solidarity, and not conceptually, but physically, financially, and spiritually.
Falando essas palavras para vocês, porque meu avô e minha avó morreu com 130 anos, outro morreu com 190 anos, nunca tiveram oportunidade de estar falando isso para o mundo. Eu vou deixar essa música aqui para o mundo, que se senta... Essa música se chama O Fruto da Semente Está Nascendo. E por isso estamos aqui. House, 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 house.
Yeah, jingles. The jingles. 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 Jingles all the way. I think I was like,
I decided to keep that last part in there. I actually checked in. Should I leave this last part in there? And they said, yeah, this is great. I really wanted to just bring this up because as governments have failed us repeatedly over the past 30 years at the United Nations, that it's important to remember that it's the people that have the power. That these so-called leaders who think they are in charge only have power if we give it to them. And that more importantly, that we have each other. And that we must step outside of our siloed fascist states and be able to reconnect with human beings who are working in the same frequency as you are. And to remind yourselves that the truth is that we have the power and the love that we share with each other. And that our community bonds are stronger than ever. And that we should reinforce those as we look towards the future. And remind yourself that you're not alone. Remind yourself that you might just be one voice in a sea of chaos, and you're yelling against the fractured noise of a world that is forsaken us. But I want you to remember that these ideas of fear and these ideas of oppression are what keep us controlled, and that we ourselves have the power to speak up, and more importantly, to use our voices to become a beautiful chorus of humanity, and speak truth into the future that is so desperately needed for all of us. and that we must stand in solidarity with each other now, and especially with a future that is healthy and just and livable. And that this future is within our grasp. It's within our reach, and this is what should pull us. This is what should combine us. This is what should unify us, knowing that there is a way out, that there is a way to survive, and there is a way for our children to thrive. Your grandchildren are not forsaken. You have not lost. You have won. These are the death rattles of oppressive systems that are meant to dominate and oppress and control us through fear. And I want you to celebrate. Take a moment to look at your siblings, take a moment to look at your sisters and to your brothers, and remind yourself that you're not alone, and that you have community, and then more importantly, that your morals will guide you, and that you are spiritually protected because the universe is on our side. So I'd like to take a moment here, and maybe before we jump into this, and I know Rick's not here, but we are working on a sculpture here for the church. So a couple of years ago, I don't know if you all remember, but this street used to be named after a genocidal general, and we, along with the congregation, along with a lot of community members, were able to stand up and change the street name. We were able to convince the city to give us these signs, which are going to be created into a sculpture to remind ourselves of what community change is. More importantly, how we can draw our community together to effect a change for the better, and more importantly, right the wrongs of our collective shared future, or shared past, I should say. And remind ourselves that we can create out of the atrocities of our past something beautiful and something new, with community and with love and with unity. And so it's important for us to remember that. So it's not here, but it is on its way. I also have some sign-up sheets and some swag in the back if you guys want to make a donation. I got cool little totes. I don't take any money myself. I don't get paid to do the work. Looking at our 3 to 5 year plan, we're actually creating templates of how our policy can translate to smaller groups and smaller communities, so that it can be templates to be utilizing in smaller scales for communities. And this is a way for us to really create safeguards for humanity, to focus on adaptation and mitigation for a world that's on its track for 2.6 degrees in total climate rise Celsius. And this is a big thing. We have to remind ourselves that we have each other, and that more importantly, that there are pockets of humanity that are preparing for what's on its way, and that we have to amplify those pockets of humanity, because that is us. And don't ever forget that that you have community. And even though it's first thing in the morning and this is the first service, only a handful of people, that handful of people are beautiful and miraculous. So I'd like to take a moment here, and if I could get you to just close your eyes and get in a comfortable position again, we're going to take ourselves a nice little meditation. In our tradition, we close our eyes and we face the sun as it's still dark. And imagine that you're sitting towards facing the east and the sun is rising. And as the sun rises, you take a deep breath in. And the first glimpse of the daylight touches the crown of your head. And as you take a deep breath in, you pull the light down into your body, breathing in the light from the new dawn and blowing out the darkness that is trapped in your body, exchanging it from divine light that is given to us from creation. Exhale the darkness. And as the sun gets higher, we breathe more light down into our body, pulling it down from the crown chakra, down into our heads, down into our shoulders, and extracting all the darkness that is stress, that is worry, that is fear, and we blow it out. We breathe the light as the sky gets brighter and the sun rises higher. We breathe the light, pushing it down from our chest, down into our abdomen, down into our hips, pulling out the darkness and the worry that is trapped inside of our physical bodies, and we blow it out. Continue to feel the light and breathe it, inhale it in, and push it down farther and farther down into your hips, down into your thighs and your knees, down to your calves, and blowing out the darkness that is trapped in your lower regions. Continue to breathe the light as it goes down from your calves into your toes until your body is glowing, completely glowing with divine light given to you by creation. Feel your body glowing. And as your body becomes brighter and brighter, your physical body dissolves and you are left with just one sphere of consciousness. Your body, your soul, is just one sphere of consciousness. Glowing light given to you by divine creation. And where the top of your head used to be becomes the North Pole. And where the base of your spine used to be becomes the South Pole. And your heart becomes the center of the earth. And now when you breathe light, imagine light coming down from the North Pole, being drawn down through the equatorial region, brought further and further down till it encompasses the circumference of the earth and warms and it radiates new light from a new day across our entire planetary consciousness. Now imagine that your heart is at the center of the earth, and your heart is just as hot and it's just as warm as an outside source from the sun, and we have to switch from absorbing light and warmth from outside sources and recognize the light and the warmth and the heat that is trapped inside the centers of our hearts. Feel the warmth and the heat and the light expand from the core of your being that's connected to the planet as you are the earth, radiating light.
What a gorgeous voice. Thank you so much. I love that meditation too. So please stand. Join me for 1064 Blue Boat Home. Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I give thanks to the waves upholding me, as the great winds urging me on, leaning over the edge in wonder, sing the sky my sailor song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
Oh, gosh. Our benediction is from two sources. The first is adapted from Alama Luz Villanueva. The sacred is not in heaven or far away. It is all around us, and small human rituals can connect us to its presence. This week, may we be aware of this and act accordingly. And from Amanda Gorman's poem, The Hill We Climb. When day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it, for there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it. Amen. Blessed be. Salam alaikum and shalom.